Most people do not know what is their state of flow like because we don't think in this manner. But take a moment and ask yourself, is there anything that you do that transports you or that makes you feel that you've forgotten about eating food, track of time, just like, mundane everyday things, completely no clue about it. If you ask me as a high performance coach, what is that one thing that you will teach people if that is the last thing to teach? I would say the concept of flow. Hi there, welcome to Absolutely Right, India's first graphology based leadership show. I'm your host Aditi Surana. I'm a behavioral analyst, a high performance coach, and an anti anxiety expert. Every Friday, we have been doing these short episodes on the Absolutely Right podcast, and this one and the next one, which is our 200th episode, will be the last two Friday episodes. After that, in the next season, we'll have only Wednesday episodes. So, I thought, what would be the last thing that I want to teach all of you, all the dedicated, genuine listeners that we have, if I have to speak about the toolbox that you can build for your mental fitness, I would say the concept of flow. The concept was coined by Austrian psychologist and researcher Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. He and his team decided to study people who are, for some reason, performing at their optimum level. They wondered, what do these people who are high performance do that is different, unique, that you and I fail to do when we cannot perform at that level? And what they found was phenomenal, because in different ways, people kept talking about as if they walked into a zone, they got into a flow, they felt that state of mind which was absolutely different than their normal day. And that's why they thought this state of mind, which is that optimum performance, maximum engagement, ultimate capacity that the person shows, as the concept or state of flow. Today I want to tell you a few things about the state of flow. So 3 things you can keep in mind to cultivate your state of flow. Point number 1, identify your flow moments. Most people do not know what is their state of flow like because we don't think in this manner. But take a moment and ask yourself, is there anything that you do that transports you or that makes you feel that you've forgotten about eating food, track of time, just like, mundane everyday things, completely no clue about it. You start doing that activity and you just get teleported. For me, one of the things in flow is analyzing handwriting, observing people and studying them. Now, every time I do it, I not only blush, which I think is known by now, but I also feel completely drawn into it. That process, that world completely stopped me in my tracks. What is it for you? If you don't identify your flow moments, you would never be able to invite them in your life over and over again. In simplest term, what is that activity that makes you forget about everything else? More challenging it becomes, more engaging it becomes, more alive you feel. Point number 2, flow becomes more interesting when you're challenged in a certain way. According to Mihai's research of high performers, he found that the state of flow happens when your skill set is stretched to its limits and the challenge is forcing you to do that. Do you want me to repeat? The challenge and the skill set both are at a point where you are about to go off control, but you are still in control. Let me give you an example. If you're a singer who have been practicing for many years and you have your own set of songs that you sing very well, you're challenged to sing something that you have never tried before. You have the skill set, but you don't know how to resolve this challenge. Now, when both these things meet and you question yourself in a certain way, this is where the flow happens. Second example could be about driving. Imagine you are one of those passionate drivers. You love driving, you love your car, you love being in control, no matter how tough driving becomes. Now for you, there is a challenge level and there is a skill level. When you're driving on the highway, both of them are at their best. And in that situation, with or without your knowledge, you get into flow. Have you experienced that? Point number 3 is introduce passive state of flow in your life as much as you can. Now, many people do not know what their state of flow is. They've never thought about life like that. They've been busy in their career, in their personal life, in their relationships, so they never got that time to think about their state of flow. Here, you can introduce passive state of flow by watching other people stepping into their flow. Now, in poetry recital, in live performances, while seeing someone create that craft or cook that amazing meal, has it happened to you that you felt as if time stopped for you? You felt that as if you're getting goosebumps on your body. Now, that is possible when you step into their state of walking into the flow so deeply, so intently, that you experience the similar emotion. Not exactly the same, but very close to what the person is going through when he or she is in an active state of flow. This is a great idea. Listening to the music of your favorite singer or composer and experiencing the depth that they go to can become your cue, your little gateway to create flow in your own life. Talking to people about their passions, finding what exactly excites them, and then discovering what are those similar moments where you have stepped into even partial, even momentary state of flow can become a great beginning. Now you might wonder, Aditi, why do we require this flow? We are happy with our life, things are happening. Why to bother ourselves so much? Now, our highest excitement or optimal happiness experiences happen when we are challenged like this, when we are feeling as if we are on the edge. And that's where adventure sport can give you that feeling. Or attending live music concerts become like the most mesmerizing experiences in our lives. Why? Because you walk into that zone, that flow that otherwise does not happen on a daily basis. Now, my question to you is, what if you have something that you do regularly, pretty much every other day, to experience the flow? How amazing your life would be. How happy and excited would you be? And if that becomes your natural state of mind, being calm, being completely involved and intensely present with something, then anxiety, depression, or other mental concerns might not be as prevalent because your mind would be focused on things that put you in a flow. It's a great trait to cultivate, great thing to think about and nurture over a period of time. Now, sometimes when people are going through their mental challenges, they believe they have to fight it. There is no other way but to deal with it. But creating a toolbox can be a simpler way. Imagine someone gives you a huge block of wood, but no tool to cut it. Then the task would become really, really difficult. But the very moment you find the correct tools, no matter how big that block of wood is, you'll be able to cut it because you have the correct tools in hand. The same thing is applicable when you look at your mind. And to make your journey simpler and easier in that sense, we started one more podcast called Daily Mental Fitbit. If you haven't checked it out, please go. It is available on all major podcasting platforms. If you have checked it and if you have rated us, thank you so much, because we are already India's top 3 mental health podcast. So thank you so much for trusting the process, for being part of the community. So let me repeat the name. It's Daily Mental Fitbit. Before I say goodbye, let me tell you, next week is our last week on the Absolutely Right podcast season 2. And in order to answer some of your questions, and something that many listeners have told us, that Aditi, you speak to different guests every Wednesday, we haven't known about you. So we have invited a journalist friend of mine to interview me. So we get to answer some of your questions that we have received over a period of time. So I'll see you on Wednesday with my story on the Absolutely Right podcast. Till then, happy writing.